What's up, Internet Land? Zakimus Prime, aka Zakimus Prime, here with another Transformers third-party review. And today, the figure that I'm looking at is the Ocular Max Assaultus. But before we get to that, we have to put it together ourselves. So I'm going to start with Swindle here, not Swindle. And I'm going to take off his little wheel back there. And we're going to open up these little panels right here. Camera. Would have been nice if they'd put like little tabs, molded little slots into the edges to give you something to hook a fingernail or a spudger or something onto. Slide both these down and then put them back into that spot. This little doohickey is going to fold out like so, and then we're going to fold out these heel spurs, peg them into place. And then fold out the block behind them, and then take this whole thing and double hinge this down. And then these guys are going to swing around to the back. We're going to disconnect this panel right here. That comes out on a little double hinge. We're going to disconnect these wheels from the front. Just a simple little peg that keeps that in place. That's going to allow us to open up the hood part. And then we want to take and disconnect this whole section in here. Yeah. And swing this out. From here, we want to take and rotate the entire top portion of this. And now we're going to start piecing it all back together. So we'll fold these in. Do these fold in? No, I don't know. Maybe they do. But we're going to put these back in like so. Tab them all back into place. These tabs here that pegged into basically the underside of the arms, they're going to peg back into those same slots, just flipped around now. We're going to take these panels here, fold them down, take these and fold them down. We can take this panel and fold that in, and then just leave that hanging actually. And then we want to plug these back in. Fold this guy back up. But then we're going to take this and extend this and then flip it all the way around. I'm pretty certain that's how it goes. On the chest plate here, we're going to take and disconnect this whole section here. That's going to come around and tab onto these two little doohickeys right here. Like that. And then, last but not least, we want to take and extend up these tabs. These tabs are going to go into these little slots right here. And that pretty much is that. This tire will fit onto these little tabs here. And there is a foot all done. Next we're going to take Vortex. And to get Vortex transformed up and ready to go, we want to separate out these panels here from the bottom. Open this all the way up. And we want to open up this top part too. Actually, first thing, let's actually take and collapse down these rotors. Being very careful, because I don't really like how these are engineered on. I feel like they're almost like a disaster waiting to happen. Alrighty. So we can take these and disconnect it and pull it out from the side there, and then that will allow us to disconnect this whole top portion here. Then with this portion all opened up on the bottom, we can basically work on... Actually, I'm going to separate out this tail too. There we go. Now, this whole thing is going to come around. Let's just separate this for the sake of simplicity so that we can see how the engineering is going to work inside. Basically, we're going to put his legs most of the way into robot mode. So like this, and like this. And then we're going to take these sections here and swing them around and fold them in. We're going to extend up these fingers. That allows us to pull the thumb out. The thumb is kind of folded up in a weird way. And then we can get these to start combining together. So first thing I should do actually is take this guy here, and this little faux window here has got a peg on the end of it. That's going to peg into the roof of this helicopter mode. That'll get those in the proper alignment. These will go together. That'll lead the hand halves to come together. And then just give everything a good squeeze. Now we can take these and fold them. There's dual tabs there and dual slots in there. And then bring these together and down on top. And if we get it just right, we can line up these little tabs to fit inside these little slots here. Fold these back in. There we go. Now we want to take and, actually it's probably easier to just push it out from this side. Push out this tab here, fold in that landing gear. And now we can start reassembling the top half of this portion. We can take this part, fold it down, fold that in. Take these rotors, fold them together. Fold up these halves here. This is all gonna fold in and in like so. And then this is all just going to fold in together. Just kind of tab, just like how it was before. And then you can take this and turn it at what was the waist, and then turn it at the wrist. So the wrist is like so. There we go. Yep, that looks about right. It would have been nice if there was a way to like keep this from spinning around, but All right, we'll sit this aside somewhere. All right, next up is Blast Off. So for Blast Off, what we want to do is we'll start by disconnecting this wing here, rotating this in such a way that you get this tab out, this tab here out. And then bring this around, and this tab is going to fit into a slot on the underside of the wing. That goes in just like so, and then do the same for the other side. So wiggle that out, kind of flex it a little bit, and there you go. Then we want to open up these panels here that are the landing gear, bring out the panels that they're attached to, bring up these panels from behind them, and these will actually, well, we're going to split the whole thing down the middle, like so. And to get this all situated, we want to take and open this section up. That will allow us to pull this out, swing that around, fold this all the way in, fold that in, close this back up. So now this is more like how it was. Whoops. What am I hung up on? This is like how it was in the leg mode. I feel like I'm hung up on something, but everything looks right. Yeah. Now for the inside of this, let me just kind of move this out of the way while we finish this up. You want to take and pull this tail fin out of the way. This is going to open up, and this is going to open up. You can collapse this down and collapse this down. And now with this all open, you can take this and fold this all the way around. Now this will have to be opened up like so and stowed inside like so. You can take this panel here, bring that up, and that will come in right there. And that is essentially that. Let me get this situated just right so that it doesn't interfere with the hand. And so now we're going to plug this back into place. And again, there's two tabs here and slots in there. Not to mention, of course, its regular mating slot down here. There we go. This is going to fold up and come around and sit flush inside there. And then this panel is going to come down and plug in right there. So it's kind of like leg mode and kind of not. And then we're going to take all of that and do it on this other side here. So bring up this panel, fold in this little panel, break the leg in the middle, fold out this detail, folding that panel, folding that panel, fold that back up, close that off, collapse, collapse. This gets twisted around. Comes down, and then this comes down, and then this opens up, and then that all folds and fits inside here. This panel opens up, folds to cover the hole. This will close back up, peg in, fold that up, peg it together, and then we just got to peg everything back together. There are a lot of tabs and slots in between these two, and we got to make them all line up somehow. Which is not terribly difficult given the engineering of this figure. Rotate this like so, rotate this like so, bring out the thumb, and then last but absolutely not least, we want to pull out this tab right here. Alrighty. Yeah, we're looking real good now. Alrighty, now for Brawl, we want to take and fold that back in. If we disconnect the turret here, we can bring up these panels right here. Come on, panels. Come on, panels. There we go. Pull this whole section out. Fold them back in. And this is going to be just like the other Swindle's foot. So bring out the heel spurs. Bring out these to cover the heel spurs. Double joint this down. And then that's pretty much that. For the upper section here, you want to open everything up by pulling this all out. Open this up. And then what's going to happen here is we're going to open up this panel here, and these are going to come around. And what you want to do is you want to get this all, there's some tabs here that are going to go into new homes. And that's what we're aiming for. Pull out that turret. To get these to go into their new homes. I wish I had more light in here. There we go. And there we go. And now we just got to do that with the other one as well. So bring this down. There's a tab. There's a there's this all connected to this thing, and bring this armature around. And then slot everything. Wow, that just went right in. It didn't fight me at all, that second one. Bring this panel around like so. Bring these guys. There are little tabs off to the side of here, and then you'll see that there's slots on the inside here. So you want to flex these out just a little bit, so that those all tab together, and then these guys can just swing down to cover that. And there is Brawl in his combined mode. All right. And now so this one is actually the one, of course, that's easier to do from robot mode, but I'm just going to do it from vehicle mode because that's what I'm already in. I'm going to take this and tab this all in together. We're going to open up these panels, bring that around. Very much like what happened when we went into robot mode the first time. Separate these. One of the things that we're going to do different is we're going to bring these out like so. Now for these legs, what we're going to do is we're going to pull out this panel like we did before. This opened up. This is going to swing around. There are little tabs back here to plug that panel into a better position. We can take these. Do those want to transform? I don't remember. This tab that gave me such a pain in the ass before, I got to do it again. Like that. Bring this around. And then when this foot is all the way straight up, it kind of tabs in. You want to make sure that that tab is in effect. And then this guy is going to come up and around. You're going to fold this bumper around to the back. And we'll fold this guy down too. And so now this is going to come down. The bumper is going to go into this slot here. And that tab is going to go into the slot here. And that will keep all that together. And then we want to take and crank on this toe and get this to about that position right there. And then we're going to do all the same for the other leg. So fold this down. Bring this panel. Almost pull off the tire there. Open that, fold that little guy in, bring this out and around, tab, tab, yeah. Give it a good squeeze to seat that tab, bring this panel out and around. Bring this panel out and around. I have to tilt the foot to do that. Put it back in. Put this in. Fold that in. Lock it all together. Bring out the toe. Again, we want to pull this back like so. For the upper body, we want to disconnect these chest plate here. Separate the upper body. being careful not to tweak those mirrors because they are tweakable. So basically how we want to go for this is we want to bend the arm like so. Let me bring this up a little bit so we can get a better look at this. This panel is going to slide up like so. We're going to disconnect all of this. This is going to come around and that tab is going to fit into a slot here. And then we want to take this panel here, bring this out and around, and then fold it in like so. Close this back up. And then you'll see that there are two slots here, there are two tabs here. Those will fit in, and then you'll bring this guy down like so. We're going to do all the same stuff for the other side real quick. Actually, yeah, we are. So bring this back like that. Slide this up like so. Disconnect this from there. Bring this around till it tabs into itself. You want to pop open this panel just a little bit. That'll help you get this panel to come free. Then you swing it around, plug it back into itself on the other side, and bring this out. My ambivalence comes from the fact that all of this is easier than if we get this out of the way to make way for the back. To make way for the back, we're also going to make way for the chest as well, so we kind of want to take this and separate this, fold this out to the side, take this piece here and fold it out and down and out. That's the dick plate there. And then we're going to open up this panel here, fold out this chest plate and the head to bring it all the way around, and close this back up. While we've got this out here where we can yank on it, we want to yank on it. We're going to turn these down. These are going to come out, and then these will fold in. I don't like this joint very much at all, but you want to be really careful about how you do this. Fold this in like so. Do the same for the other side. Bring this out. And be really careful that you're not putting too much lever action on this screw joint right here, because that will probably wreck it. Compress this back in as far as it'll go. And then this will come up and peg in where it was in robot mode. Now we can take these guys, bring them back, peg them into those slots that I pointed out before. Bam and bam. Take these guys, plug them into these tabs right here. Take the chest, fold it out, fold this out, bring this down, and then it just kind of also plugs into place. And for Onslaught, last but not least, you do have his little cargo container here. You want to split this in half, and then this is going to basically, everything that's folded up on it will now be unfolded, and that will actually turn into a pair of shoes. Fold this out and around. Well, before we fold it out and around, you want to fold out this panel here and here, and then fold this out and around, and then fold this out like so. These panels are going to plug into little slots in there. And there is a shoe all done. Do the same with the other one. Fold this out. Fold these panels out. Fold this panel out. Bring this out and down and around. Plug those guys in. Bam. 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 Alrighty. Now, let me reposition my camera and get this all ready to go. Alright, now just to get it connected up, we're going to take this slot here, is going to go onto this tab here, like so. Or it'll straighten out the leg. And then this is going to close over that panel from behind. And then the two little tabs here are going to fit into these two little slots there. And that will lock that together. We're going to throw on a shoe by putting these tabs into these slots here. And then these tabs into those slots there. Let me get this centered. Now for the other side, there's nothing to lock it in on the back. So we're just going to tab this into its slot as securely as we can, straighten it out, and then plug those toe slots into the tabs like we did on the other leg. There we go. And we're going to throw on his other shoe so that he's got equalized feet. And now he's starting to look tall. Let me readjust my tripod one moment. Alright, readjust it again. That came off of here. Now, for the arms, there's a tab on the top part of this that actuates a little tab on the inside of this hole here. And then you're just going to plug this into that slot and then close that tab down. And again, for the other side, open that up, tab it into the slot, and lock her down. And there is a Saltus in his combined mode. And he's pretty stinking big. Hands for scale? I don't know. I don't have anything on hand for a size comparison exactly. I could throw in. Don't know how well this works as a size comparison, but I've got a Jinbao Throttlebot combiner right here. That's nice. But for accessories, he comes with this gun here. You fold out the barrel, you fold out the handle. The handle uses the same tab. It's actually the same peg. This is that he can hold for Onslaught just by himself, and then you fold this out so that it's a big enough handle for Bruticus to hold. But the way that works is on the palm of the hand. I'll show it on this hand because on the palm of the hand you have this hollow here behind where the thumb is. And that tab fits into that hollow and then basically wedges between the edge of the hollow and the base of the thumb, and that gives you your tension that you need to get it to work, assuming that I can get it to work. Well, goddamn. Maybe it'll work better on the other hand. I had up holding it in this other hand before. I just wanted to show it on that visually dominant hand because the camera's set up that y'all can see the palm of that hand and not the palm of this hand. There you go. So it's big, it looks nice, it looks great, actually. I really like the just wild color combination of Generation 2. It was a wonderful point in my life. But let's get into articulation. So his head is, it's got the regular head underneath it, but the posability is not the same. It will look up, but it won't look down. That's an issue for me, I think. I think that combiners should all be able to look down on the miserable little transformers that are all smaller than them, you know, but it doesn't. His head will swivel just fine all the way around if you need it to. You can take these guns and you can swivel them down if you want. The shoulders will go all the way around. Goes up as much as you need. There's a little bit of wiggle where that peg comes in. Due to the engineering of the individual arms, he's got a bicep swivel, what basically constitutes a double jointed elbow. Due to, you know, the hips and the knees and everything else working together, it works out. And then he's got wrist swivel, which is just engineering black magic, seeing as how the whole hand splits in two. And then hinge, ball joint, hinge on the thumb, and then a hinge joint on each finger. No splay on them like that. And you do see that the hands are, the fingers are different sizes, which I always think is great. He's got his little hip armors come up and out of the way, though it is far easier to bend them this way to get them out of the way of the legs. Leg will go, you know, actually since he doesn't really have a waist joint due to how this all works out, I think that I'm supposed to actually bring these guys up. Because this part actually tabs in down there. And I was just noticing that the Onslaught hip armors are actually getting in the way of the Bruticus leg posability. So, legs go that far forward, that far back, go out for most of a Van Damme. They do have a swivel up here at the top of the thigh. I think I heard somebody mention for the original combiner that actually the instructions say to have them out like that, which will give you a little bit more height. But I think proportionately that doesn't work out as well. That would give you slightly more of a Van Damme. That's the only benefit I see to that, because it just messes with its proportions. I think it looks better down like so. Knee joint will bend 90 degrees, and then the ankles have got a little bit of forward motion and a rocker. Again, also amazing, seeing as how the feet are made of the actual, like, robot mode's guy's feet pasted together with clever engineering to make them actually rotate. All in all, this figure is great. I haven't made any secret of the fact that I actually prefer the Unique Toys Bruticus. I still do. I still think that that was definitely the best engineered and best looking Bruticus to date. However, I am completely in love with the G2 color scheme, and Unique Toys never made a G2 Bruticus. If they had, then that would probably be where my true emotions lie. But as for now, like, this guy's got it. But the proportions in this mode are pretty good. As a full team, they look great together. As a combined team, they look amazing. And I don't have a whole lot of negative things to say about it. I did mention how I don't like these being made out of tinted plastic instead of black plastic. I think black plastic would have looked better. I reiterated that again with the review of Onslaught. But it's just, hey, he does have a waist joint. It's just a really good figure. It's a pretty damn good set. I heartily recommend it. But anyhow, that's all I've got. Everybody, thanks for watching. You guys are fantastic. Everybody, stay awesome and be good to each other. See ya.